Good morning, everyone. I am Krisha Mange, and today I will be presenting my topic from fetch to execute working of the 8085 microprocessor. Whenever we use a computer, open an application, or even perform a simple calculation, there is a component inside the computer that controls everything. That component is the microprocessor, often called the brain of the computer. In this presentation, we will explore the importance of processors, the Intel 8085 microprocessor, its architecture, and how it processes instructions step by step from fetch to execute. Now we will be seeing the importance of processor. To understand computers, we first need to understand the processor. The processor is responsible for executing instruction, processing data, and controlling all the operations inside the computer. For example, when we type something, open a file, or run a program, the processor performs all the calculations and decisions required. In simple words, without a processor, a computer cannot function at all. That is why it is often called the brain of the computer system. Now we will be looking at Intel 8085 microprocessor. One of the important early microprocessor is the Intel 8085. It is an 8-bit microprocessor, meaning it can process 8 bits of data at a time. It was introduced by Intel in the 1970s and was widely used in early computers and embedded systems. The 8085 also has a 16-bit address bus, which allows it to access up to 64 kilobytes of memory. Because of its simple structure and efficiency, it became a very popular microprocessor for learning and development. Now we will be looking at 8085 architecture. Architecture basically means how different components inside the processors are organized and connected. The 8085 architecture includes important components such as arithmetical logic unit, registers, control unit, and system buses. Each of these components has a specific function, and together they help the processor process instruction and control the system operation. Understanding this architecture helps us see how a processor actually works internally. Now we will be seeing what is arithmetic logic unit. The arithmetic logic unit or ALU is the part of the processor where the actual calculations happen. It performs arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. It also performs the logical operations like AND, OR, and other comparisons. Whenever the processor needs to calculate or make a logical decision, the ALU performs that task. So we can think of the ALU as the calculation center of the microprocessor. Now we will be looking at the registers. Registers are small and very fast storage location inside the microprocessor. They temporarily store the data, instructions, and memory address that the processor is currently using. The 8085 microprocessor includes registers such as accumulator, general purpose registers, program counter, and stack pointer. Because registers are located inside the processor, they allow the data to be accessed very quickly, which improves the overall speed of the processing. Now, what is control unit? The control unit acts like the manager of the processor. It controls and coordinates all the activities happening inside the microprocessor. The control unit fetches instructions from memory, decodes them, and sends signals to execute them. It also controls the flow of data between the processor, memory, and input-output devices. In simple terms, the control unit ensures that all the part of the processor work together properly. Now next is system bus. So for different parts of the computer to communicate, they need communication pathways which are called as system buses. There are three main types of buses. The data bus transfers the actual data between the components. The address bus carries the address of the memory location, and the control bus carries the signals that control operations like reading and writing the data. This buses helps the processor to communicate efficiently with memory and other devices. Now we will be seeing the instruction cycle. So now let's see what is instruction cycle. How the processor actually executes the instruction. This process is called the instruction cycle and it mainly consists of three steps: fetch, decode and execute. First, in the fetch stage, the processor retrieves the instruction from memory. Next, in the decode stage, it interprets the instruction to understand what action needs to be performed. Finally, in the execution stage, the processor performs the required operations using the components like ALU. This cycle keeps repeating continuously while the program is still running. Now we will be seeing what are the key takeaways. Processors are essential for the functioning of computer system. The Intel 8085 is an important 8-bit microprocessor used in early computing systems. Its architecture includes components such as ALU, registers, control units, and system buses. Together, these components helps the processor fetch, decode, and execute the instructions efficiently. Thank you.